What is up, guys? Welcome back to Reality Files. Yeah, massive connections were made. Shit has gone down. We are talking about manifestation. How to manifest from the mindscape into the physical reality. How to manifest a pure, flowing, energetic field. Symbiotic, harmonic relationships. All aspects of life will benefit. And this is the master code, the master blueprint for so many things, because the connections were made between the imagination, perception and awareness, allowance, flow, faith, belief, and identity. This is the Trinity. Think of it as guys like Neville, Goddard up here, Allowance, Alchemy, transmutation over here with perception, allowance, flow, faith, and belief, oneness. This is kind of like the Tao, the Book of the Way. Go look at so many great speakers on each one of these, but the connections that happened as of August, piecing together 3 areas of my biggest inquiry and study, it's amazing. It's going to be awesome. And I'm probably going to make it's going to take like 50 videos to fully break down this thing. And I'm so excited. This is going to be an overview kind of how all this stuff works. Kind of give you some tips to starting for manifestation. Starting off how to start reorganizing the mind. Reprogramming self-talk and the subconscious mind. Through imagination, belief and allowance, awareness and perception, and it's a jumbled mess of massive ideas right now. I've been writing them out and getting them systematically, in some way that anybody could come here and understand what I'm saying. But for the time being, let's just get these ideas out there because they're going to really help some people. Please, if you're watching this later on, I'm probably going to have a master blueprint on the website that you can go get in a link in the description. If not, well, follow along because it's going to be great. So, a lot of new age and, all these law of attraction, manifest from your mind, create your reality, people out here, they're missing like 90% of the picture. They got 10%, if that. And that is like, yes, if you envision what you want, you dream about what you want, you reprogram your self-talk through affirmations. Yeah, that'll help you a little bit. But I tried all these things. It didn't really show me any results. I listened to Neville Goddard. I listened to all the great teachers. And I was missing something. And these connections and realizations I've made as of recently have made me so excited. Because they've literally blasted open the doors. And I can see a bigger picture here. A very large picture. So when I listen to guys like Neville Goddard, I hear it differently. I see a larger perspective, and we're going to go into all these things. Let's start off with the overview here. Imagination. Yes, envision what you want. Live in that experience, right? Dream about it. So if you want to be a millionaire, what would a millionaire be doing? What would you look like as a millionaire? What would your life be like? Relationships, responsibilities, the people you see, right? Self-talk, and how do you feel every day? Envision that. Envision that person. What he's like in all aspects, physical, mental, emotional. But that's step 1. That's nowhere near what we're talking about. You see, after you do that, then it comes down into the second tier. We're talking about awareness, perception, identity, right? So instead of just keeping this up here in the mindscape, this image of what you want, if you want a basketball, it's not about projecting it out here. It's about going into that and thinking from it. This reprogrammed self-talk, right? So if you want to be a millionaire, it's not just about thinking and imagining yourself as a millionaire. It is about taking that imagination and stepping into it, stepping into the next frame, harnessing an ALR mind, a strong belief, identity, and awareness, and saying, so you're walking into the grocery store. What would a millionaire act like, feel like? What would he buy? What would he exuberate, right? Think about reading fantasy books as a kid, connecting with a character on a deep level. And then we'd play games and stuff, right? Like, you know, cowboys and sheriffs or whatever, like in the backyard with the neighbor kids. And we'd take on this role and we'd believe it. We'd think from it, I'm Superman, right? Or from your favorite book, I am this character, right? And I read a lot of fantasy books. I read tons of books when I was a kid. And this was probably the most influential thing I've ever done. Because instead of trying to think of what I want and then like set a plan to get there, I was thinking from a new identity. My favorite character. What would he act like right now? What would he be doing, right? How does he wake up? How does he lead? How does he speak, right? And thinking from that is key. Taking on a new identity and being playful enough, being like a child, right? A fluid belief and imagination. This gets into the much larger part of breaking down judgments, breaking down limited identities, breaking down belief systems, right? Because if you believe yourself to be, nope, I'm Bob, I'm a carpenter, or maybe you got a paragraph, maybe you got a book about who you are, right? If you believe that, you've been stuck in this loop, in this belief system, and what you believe about out here, what is possible, right? All of that influences how well you can actually harness and manifest a new identity, a new character, a new life. So my keys to you, my friends, to start off with, break down judgments. Break down judgments. This log, do not just define it as a log. What is a log? What is wood? What are all the components in that? It's a much larger definition than, okay, it's a brown log and it's rotten. No. You see, everything out here is so infinite, interconnected, interwoven, and then we judge it with a simple label. Like the sky or the sun, right? What is the sun? When you think of the sun, all that pops up, is it a dictionary definition, a word, or are you thinking in images once again? Are you thinking in, oh, this spherical flame, how did that happen? It appears to be fairly close, moves over the horizon 12 hours a day, gives life to everything out here, right? Has all these crazy properties, the sun and the moon, and how they affect animals, tides, all life on Earth, right? How all that interacts. It's so mystical, magical, extreme, and absolutely undefinable in this realm. You cannot understand these things, so you must look at the sun and picture it, imagine it in all of its glory, see it for how it is and not just a judgment. See it as the infinite, right? This is breaking down judgments, and what goes way deeper right here is breaking down judgments of self, who you are, right? What you can do, what is possible. Can you levitate? Can you fly? Keep your mind open. That is the key, because if you don't have an open mind, you are no longer a child. If you have a closed mind and a rigid belief structure, well, this shit ain't gonna work for you. You need to return to the childlike state. So this video is kind of like the prep for going into all these different aspects of manifestation of the master blueprint here. Breaking down judgments. Next thing, breaking down fear and attachment. Attachment to comfortability. Reaction to uncomfortability. So if you have pain flare up in your wrist or your lower back, do you block it out? Do you take Advil? Or do you move towards it? Do you try to feel all of it? Do you go towards the pain? Or do you move away from it? Do you set up blockages between self and other? Between what you're feeling? I can't be tired right now, I gotta go to work, right? Drink that coffee, block it out, be really mentally strong, and force yourself. You see? Attachment to anything, good or bad, is bad. It's about being neutral and not polarized. You cannot want to be energetic and flowing and loving and vibrant, right? And be so attached to that anything bad, anything against that ideal image, you reject, you push away. The moment you start feeling hate, anger, tiredness, right? You block that out and try to move away from it, creating your shadow self. So becoming neutral and allowing things to flow, allowing emotions to flow, feeling the bad, feeling the good, disassociating from good or bad, and disassociating from the flesh identity, associating with the infinite, limitless potential and being in which we are. Another point here would be expanding awareness and possibility. You see, your mindscape, your awareness, has to do with your perception. They're very intimately connected. Because to perceive something, first you must use your imagination and then openly perceive that area. Perceive that and observe it as a passerby. Meaning you cannot be identified with the flesh because the flesh might be feeling pain, might be uncomfortable because it's a new experience in which you're trying to perceive. For example, there's energy moving all the way around us and connecting us to all things. 99% of energy we cannot see. We are sitting in an infinite ocean of energy, right? So if you imagine this, right? If you know this to be true, and you expand your awareness to keep this in your mindscape, right? But then you open your perception to feeling it, right? And we're going to go way deep into this stuff because this goes into extrasensory perception, psychic abilities, and feeling beyond the flesh. If you can openly perceive it, you can expand your awareness into a new plane, into a new level. So expanding your awareness, expanding potential, asking questions, going into the dark on a quest because you asked a question, and passively observing the answer, disassociated from the flesh and the self-identity. That is another key component. I touched on some major points here, feeling the good and the bad, right? Like the Book of the Way, how it explains, to become straight, let thyself be crooked. To become full, let thyself be empty. Most profound statement. I'm going to make a full video on that. That statement is referring to repression, is referring to blockages and separation, is referring to resistance. You see, I did touch on that. If you're tired, feel the tiredness. If you're in pain, feel the pain. If you block it out, resistance makes stronger. Don't separate self and other. Unify oneself with the universe and the long sine wave of creation. We have tons to talk about. This is going to be exciting. Let's see. Any other little tidbits that will help you? Start using your imagination. Play like a damn child. Right? Don't be so serious. Break down judgments. Do not judge things to be good or bad. Do not judge things with a label. Think in images. Get back to the images and get back to the infinite self-identity like a child. Anything is possible. Anything is possible, my friends. Absolutely anything. Stop letting this world tell you you are limited. Stop identifying with a label or a limitation. And start using your imagination. Imagine yourself as a character. Imagine yourself as your highest self. Imagine the life and lifestyle you want. And think from that perspective. We got a lot to cover. I think I'm going to start the next video on allowance, flow, faith, and trust, because that is so huge. This is overcoming fear. You see, darkness surrounds us. Darkness of mind, because we are ignorant. We have a low awareness. Darkness of the flesh, the serpent, the illusion, the Maya, the separation and control. Right? So allowance, flow, faith, and belief is what allows you to not only think from a new perspective, but believe it to be true. Even though rational thought and this mechanical way you think the world works, to override both of those and believes a new perspective, believe yourself to be someone completely new, reprogram your self-talk and jump into the next frame. You see, we are stuck in one loop until we jump loops, until we do a quantum leap, right? That quantum leap is literally the moment that you identify with something else. You change your perspective, right? And if you can do that with your imagination, which is the blank canvas which all can be created from. Imagination is God. If you can use your imagination, right, and harness that ability, think from that perspective, change your perspective, change your perception, expand your awareness, then allow, flow, faith, belief, believe it in, trust it. That is basically an overview of the master blueprints on manifestation from Reality Files. I hope you enjoyed this video. We're gonna have a lot of fun here. Hit that like and share button, leave a comment, any questions, and make sure to subscribe, because I'm gonna have a ton of videos coming out. Go look at my Patreon. I might be uploading tidbits on each one of these points and in-depth advanced videos on things such as advanced transmutation, on things like mindfulness and imagination tricks and techniques. So many cool things we're going to be doing here. So, last thing, jump on that newsletter. Link in the description below. Keep you updated with the best shit. And yeah, this is going to be fun. I'll see you next time. Peace.